Humanity almost disappeared from Earth, not in legend, not in myth, in cold, measurable fact, and the evidence isn't buried in ancient ruins. It is inside you, right now, written into your DNA. At several points in history, humanity may have dropped to dangerously low population levels. So low that extinction was not unlikely, it was close. One of the most widely discussed examples comes from genetic research suggesting that around 70,000 years ago, humans experienced a severe population crash. Some scientists link this period to the eruption of the Toba supervolcano in present-day Indonesia, a volcanic event so massive it may have triggered a global volcanic winter. Ash filled the skies, temperatures dropped, food chains collapsed, and a small, vulnerable human population was pushed to the edge of survival. But this was not the beginning of the story. It may have been only one of many near-extinction moments. Modern humans first evolved in Africa around 300,000 years ago. This is supported by fossil evidence and the widely accepted out-of-Africa theory, associated with researchers such as Chris Stringer at the Natural History Museum in London. Early humans lived in a world that was constantly shifting. Warm forests expanded and retreated, savannas dried and returned. Nothing about the environment was stable. Humans were not dominant. They were fragile, one species among many, surviving without claws, armor, or natural weapons. And as humans spread out of Africa into Europe, Asia, and beyond, they entered a new kind of danger. Not predators, but the climate itself. Earth entered repeated ice age cycles, long periods of extreme global cooling. Research from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology shows these climate shifts reshaped migration patterns, survival strategies, and population stability. Ice sheets expanded across continents. Sea levels dropped dramatically. Forests disappeared or shrank into isolated pockets. Entire animal populations migrated or went extinct. And humans were forced into environments they were never biologically built for. No fur, no natural insulation, no physical advantage against freezing climates, only intelligence and pressure. Under these conditions, one discovery changed everything: fire. Humans had used fire before, but now it became essential for survival. Fire meant warmth in freezing nights, protection from predators, and most importantly, transformed food. According to Richard Wrangham's cooking hypothesis at Harvard University, cooking food increased calorie availability and reduced the energy needed for digestion. This shift may have supported changes in human biology, including smaller jaws, different gut structures, and increased brain capacity. In other words, fire didn't just help humans survive, it may have helped build the modern human brain, but fire did something even more powerful. It brought humans together. Around fire, survival changed shape. Humans stopped scattering after hunting or gathering. They stayed. They gathered in groups. And in that shared space, something new emerged. Communication that went beyond instinct. Experience turned into teaching. Memory turned into instruction. One person's survival became another person's advantage. This is what scientists call cumulative culture. The ability for knowledge to build across generations instead of restarting from zero each time. No other species scales knowledge like this. And it changed everything. But cooperation did not emerge because humans were peaceful. It emerged because survival alone was nearly impossible. In Ice Age conditions, a single human had almost no chance of survival. Fire had to be maintained, food had to be shared or preserved, shelters had to be built. Hunting required coordination. Knowledge had to be passed on, or it was lost forever. So groups that cooperated survived, groups that didn't disappeared. And the genetic record still reflects this. Studies in ancient DNA, including research by Lee and Durbin at the Wellcome Trust Sanger Institute, show that modern human genetic diversity is surprisingly limited. This suggests humanity passed through severe population bottlenecks, moments when only a small number of survivors remained. At multiple points in history, extinction was not abstract. It was very nearly the outcome. And yet, humanity persisted, not because we were the strongest, not because we were the fastest, but because we could do something no other species on Earth does at this scale. We learned, we remembered, and we passed knowledge forward. Each generation inherited not just survival, but improved survival. Each failure became a lesson, each success became a tool. And over thousands of years, that compounding knowledge became everything we call civilization today. So when you look at humanity now, the cities, the science, the technology, the art, you are not just seeing progress, you are seeing survival refined over hundreds of thousands of years. The instinct to seek others when things get difficult, the urge to share knowledge instead of keeping it, the ability to learn from experience instead of repeating it, these are not random traits. They are survival systems, built under pressure, forged in extinction-level conditions. and passed down through every generation that refused to disappear. They did not know the future. They did not know what humanity would become. They only knew one thing: stay together, survive today. And because they did, you are here.